I'm having issues with this Blomberg fridge, and essentially what's happening is there's water that's leaking out onto the floor. I've got ice build up right here. So I'm gonna try to take this all apart and see what's going on. Alright, so I pulled the shelves out. They come out just like drawers. You pull them out, and I see that there's lots of ice built up down here. The ice is all ice down here, nothing else. So I'm gonna keep going and pulling more of this gear out and probably take apart the back, see what's going on back there. I pulled the fridge out just away from the wall so you can see what's going on in the back. Take the cover off here. That water is likely condensate that's not being drained away correctly. Okay, the back here is off. It was pretty straightforward, just 3 Phillips screws, and then the whole thing comes off. So what I see here is there's the condensate drain from the fridge, nice and open, and there's the condensate drain from the freezer. Let's take it off, see what's going on. No blockage. You can see right through it. And yet water is not coming out. Alright, so the back is not plugged. Let's take a look at what's going on in here. I already got the drawers out. So that drain in the back was fine, but there must be a plug of ice in there that has formed. So in order to get to there, you gotta remove these 2 Phillips screws, but unfortunately you have to remove all these as well so that you can slide this forward. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to remove this up here first. I'm going to remove these, they're all just screwed in, and then I'll continue the video. There's a small trick to removing this shelf here. They're just 2 screws, one there, which I already removed, and then once you have those screws out, it just slides out like that. Alright, so now that the drawers are out of the way and the 2 screws from down there are gone, you can just pull on this and it should come right off. Reveal the cooling coil and all that ice build up on top there. So that ice is what's blocking the condensate from going in the back and draining to the back of the fridge where it evaporates into the room. It just sits there, accumulates, and then eventually falls to the bottom and leaks onto the floor. So we're gonna have to melt that ice. Probably the safest way, but it just takes a while to melt the ice, is to use a hair dryer. And make sure you're catching the water down below with some sort of container. Just go back and forth slowly until all the ice melts. Okay, I've been blow drying this for about 5-10 minutes now. I managed to get this thing unhooked from the ice and pulled it out. So now I should be able to push on this here and try to unblock that bottom piece. I'm gonna just try to poke at it with the screwdriver, just making sure you don't break the... Oh, there you go. See, I got a whole chunk of ice off right there. See if I can pull it out here. Put it in the heat exchanger. There's one piece. Whole other one left. Okay, again, got the other piece. So that is generally clear, but the drain hole is still frozen. There's water right in there, and it's not thawed. So I'm gonna put some hot water in there, see what happens. All right, just boiled some water. I'm gonna pour it in here. Be careful with it. Drip it everywhere else, but I'm gonna just make sure that I keep pouring it in slowly and it tries to melt that little ice plug that we've got going on in there. So the hot water is sitting on there. It's trying to thaw that little ice plug inside the hole. after a couple seconds, the hot water gets cool because it's been basically touching a cold fridge. So what I like to do is I like to remove the hot water that I put in before and then replace it with brand new hot water. And there we go. It's slowly draining down the opening. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, so it's clear. I managed to put the flathead through, and there's the opening. So now it should be able to drain everything. So I trimmed this little stopper valve at the very end, just a little bit. I mean, it's obviously not ideal because whereas I used to have a tiny little slit, I've got a slightly larger slit. That means warm air can go into my freezer, but hopefully this will allow all the water to always drain out and not cause an ice plug. I'm gonna try this out and see how it works. Put this back in and just assume that was the issue. Let you guys know how this works.